I love that they write comedy in there, and they write all the many facets that I think. But you know, I watched Dirty Harry. I liked it as a kid. I wanted it, you know. I'm like, why not? I'd like to do that too. Like, watch it, you know. But also with humor. So who knows? Maybe there's room for all that.
Well, speaking of comedy too, I wanted to ask, because you did. I think a lot of people probably were exposed to you on the Drew Carey show before this, and you went through that strange period in the show where they had you put on a lot of weight, and you went through a bunch of episodes in a fat suit.
Yeah.
Which had to be kind of a strange. I mean, I remember even thinking, because I was watching the show kind of casually at the time, like, oh, what happened to her? You know.
Yeah, I know. People did actually. Casting people were saying, "We'd love to bring Kate in, but she's."
Let herself go a little bit.
Yeah, what's going on? And I was like, really? I was shocked, because it was so much my reality that I was in, you know, makeup and in this suit every week after week, that I'm like, how could they not know? Come on, we're on E.T. talking about it, you know, like I thought it was so publicly known, but people honestly thought, and that's, I guess, a great tribute to the makeup artist. But it was a really fun role for me to do, because most of the time, a lot of times in TV and sitcoms, you know, as a lady or the straight man, or you're just like the girlfriend or the mom to like, oh, honey, what are you doing now? And so it was really fun, you know, to actually be this character and establish in the plot that, you know, look, you know, I used to be really big, I worked really hard to get down. So it was a really fun arc to play that, you know, gradually I got bigger and bigger throughout the season. And then the physical bits of just being crazy, compulsively eating and whatever. It was fun.
But it was interesting. I was just thinking, because that show, I don't think you were meant to be kept as long as you were on that either.
No, I know. I'm like I'm like the annoying house cat. You're like, look, I feel really comfortable here. You guys probably don't want me to leave, huh? Yeah.
You mentioned Shonda Rhimes, the creator of the show, and I was reading about it, and one of the things you said, which really struck me as interesting, is that she keeps office hours for the cast.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a professor.
Yeah, like a TA.
Yeah, you can come around, but to allow the actors to actually come in and talk about their characters, is that unusual, and what does that sort of bring to what you can add to the role?
Well, I think it is unusual, and I think that we're really fortunate in that sense. And it's not. I mean, she's obviously incredibly busy, and she's got a lot on her plate. So I think that. You know, I think probably most people wouldn't do that for many reasons, but one of which is, like, as actors, I think we always want more. And we're always like, hey, I got another idea. You know, like, you know, really, how surprising. So mostly the scripts are just fantastic anyway. And but she does, it is really helpful that she makes herself accessible, just in the sheer sense that if we have a question, or if something doesn't make sense to us, or if we do have a pitch, you know, an idea about our character, that she is open to it. She's not always going to say yes, but she is accessible and open to it. And that connection, I think, really helps with the cast in terms of when the show, it's gotten so huge, and yet she's still accessible, and we can still kind of touch base with her and keep grounded. And a lot of times we shoot episodes out of sequence, so it's really important to have that.
But have you taken advantage of that? Do you have like a vision for where you want Addison as a character to go, and do you talk to Chandra and the producers about it?
Well, you know, it's funny. I always thought, you know, there's this saying, you know, you can have your plans and then life happens. And that's how I feel about the character. It's like anything that I can come up with, she can pretty much come up with tenfold, and the rest of I mean, they're really... I think that it's a very exciting time in television for the hour-long format. They really do come up with great stuff. So even if I have an idea, they take it or not, they writes such great, they do such a great job of revealing the dark underbelly of people. I think that it's not, so there's lots for me to do.
You've also got a great cast to work with.
Yeah.
I'm curious, I mean, whether it's Patrick
They're
Dempsey.
okay. They're probably not as good as me, but yeah, no. No, they're yeah. No.
Is there any particular actor that you like working off of?
Actually, well, I mean, all of them. I really love Chandra Wilson, though. I remember the first time I felt like, oh, this was in an episode, one of the first ones that I did, you know, in the very beginning before it aired, and it was a surgery scene, and it was like playing good tennis. You're just, and I don't even play good tennis, but I've heard that what it's like when people do play is it's really good. So, but you know, you just rise above whenever you're working with somebody that's just great, and she is that person for me. But again, Sada Ramirez, Patrick, I love working with Isaiah. Everyone, Jim Pickens. Jim is like, everybody's good. So you just always kind of, you're on your best game, you know?
All right, well, Kate, thank you for joining us.
So nice
and
to talk to you.
continued luck with the show.
Thank
and
you.
we will be back with Scrubs creator Bill Lawrence.
One of the biggest problems with TV right now is that the people being given opportunities to create and run TV shows, for the most part,